fear. The next person that I'm going to bring up has no fear. Woo! She is an amazing, amazing activist, organizer, and now candidate. Justice Gaines is a Democratic candidate for Providence City Council Ward 1. She's worked as an organizer for Rhode Island Jobs with Justice. That's when I met her as a participant in Leadership for a Future. She currently serves as the Queer Justice Coordinator with PRISM, the Providence Youth Student Movement. Yeah! Justice has been a passionate advocate in Providence for environmental protections, women's and trans rights, and racial justice. She believes the people of Providence deserve a city council that works for them and can no longer afford to wait to change the systems we know have failed us. Justice.
How y'all doing? Oh, it's working. First of all, I want to thank the Matt Brown campaign for inviting me to this rally. I think it's really important that progressive candidates understand the stake in this election. What we're being asked for by many people within the Democratic Party, within the establishment, within politics in general, is to continue waiting for their failed policies to work for us. I'm running against a 12-year incumbent who tells me he shares the same values, and yet I still see an affordable housing crisis skyrocket. I see our school buildings falling apart, and I see my residents in my ward and wards throughout the city continue to be pushed out of their homes because of the development that's coming in and not holding our universities accountable to their own development as well. For me, what an economy has to look like that works for the people is making sure our workers are getting living wages, making sure our rents and our mortgages are not cost burdening our residents. Right now in Ward 1, which is downtown Fox Point and Wayland Square, about 55% of residents are cost burdened, spending over 30% of their income on their rent or on monthly payments for their house, right? We live in one of the wealthier wards in the city. So what does that mean that's happening across the city? What does it mean when we have a city that doesn't have space for people to live? How does an economy work when the people who need to contribute to the economy don't actually have money to spend on their own homes, don't barely have money to put food on the table? What happens when our youth have to drop out of school to support their families? That's not an economy that works for Providence. And I'm really tired of hearing this idea that we can wait, that things are good enough, because they're not. When I think about what it means to be a candidate in today's age, and the age of this federal administration, it means that for me, we have to fortify locally. We have to fortify as a state, and we have to fortify as a city to make sure that the damage coming from the federal government does not impact our residents. We have to protect all of our residents, whether they're undocumented, whether they're poor, whether they're queer or trans, whether they're women. We have to make sure that we are protecting all of our residents, because we know that's not going to happen from the national level. And that means that all of the ideas of what it means to invest in a city, to make Providence look like New York or Boston, when we're not New York or Boston. We're Providence, and we should be proud of that. We have more than enough people and more than enough skill in this state to make our state strong, proud, and sustainable for the future. We can no longer have fossil fuel facilities coming into our neighborhoods. We can no longer have corporate investors who care nothing about our people but care a lot about their profit. We can no longer have an education system that is two-tiered and that is turning our students to that is failing our students and then act like they don't know what's happening. They're well aware. I work with youth every day, and they know exactly how they're being treated, and they know why. They know it's because of racism. They know it's because their city government does not want to invest in them. They know it's because we don't have faith in what our youth can do if we actually give them the tools to succeed. And we need them at the table to help show us how to treat them. When we're talking about what it means to take back Rhode Island, For that means we have to prioritize our residents and the people who live here. We can no longer think of ideas of places without thinking of the people within them. I'm running for City Council in Ward 1 because I believe that the people of Providence need to be put first, not an idea of Providence without them. And I don't believe we can afford to wait for our previous city council and our city councilors who've been in office for over a decade to finally keep that promise to us. Thank you all for having me.